The story begins, and we are introduced to a girl named Echa. She tells us that every single night she has the same dream. In this dream, she finds herself in an unfamiliar place, and as she walks forward, she comes across a magnificent mansion-like house where she encounters an incredibly handsome and mysterious man. This man appears in her dreams every night, and the two of them grow closer and closer with each visit. To Echa, everything feels completely real. Not like a dream at all, but like it is actually happening. But the real shock comes when that man starts getting physically close to her. This is where we see that in the real world, the buttons on Echa's clothes are coming undone on their own. A dark and sinister force is physically overpowering her in reality. And we see that in the real world, a terrifying shadow is becoming intimate with Echa while she believes it is all just a dream. Suddenly, the doorbell rings, and Echa snaps out her sleep. She walks toward the door, and as she does, we catch a smile on her face, a smile left behind by that romantic dream. Echa comes downstairs and opens the door to find her husband, Ariel, standing there. Ariel works as a security guard and has once again come home late after working overtime. These constant late-night shifts are slowly taking a serious toll on their relationship. Echa, who seems noticeably different now, tells Ariel to hang his jacket properly. Ariel does exactly that, but that mysterious demon knocks the jacket right back down, as if it wants to widen the growing distance between the two of them. As always, an argument breaks out between them, and Ariel goes to bed angry without eating dinner. The next morning, when Ariel comes downstairs for breakfast, Echa is already scrolling on her phone and walks away without a word. The distance between them had grown so wide that they barely spoke to each other anymore. After that, Echa heads to work, but her mood is noticeably off. Her friend Linda arrives and takes one look at Echa's face and immediately knows that she and Ariel had another fight. Meanwhile, Ariel is equally heartbroken over last night's argument. Both of them are lost in their own separate pain. After work, when Echa and Linda sit down for lunch, their conversation reveals that Echa and Ariel have been married for 3 years. Before their marriage, their life together was filled with happiness and warmth. But now Echa feels like all that sweetness has somehow vanished. No more romantic gestures, no more special surprises. Their life has become nothing more than a dull routine. Linda tries to reason with Echa and tells her that a lot changes after marriage. New responsibilities come in, and the way you handle your relationship has to change too. She also points out to Echa that she herself has stopped putting in the same effort she used to, and that she speaks to Ariel as if he were her enemy. Linda's words reach something deep inside Echa. She realizes that the love and closeness between them has been fading away gradually. She cannot even remember the last time they spent a peaceful and meaningful evening together. Linda encourages her to make a small effort that very night, to get dressed up, to look her best, and to make Ariel feel the love and warmth that he used to feel. Echa agrees. Meanwhile at work, Ariel's senior colleague pulls him aside and tells him that overtime and responsibilities have their place, but giving time to his wife matters just as much. Ariel takes that to heart because everything he is doing for Echa's future. That evening he comes home a little late again, but this time the atmosphere is completely different. Echa welcomes him with so much warmth. She takes his jacket off for him and has tea already prepared and waiting. Ariel is genuinely touched by this change in her. For the first time in a long time, he feels truly appreciated. Slowly, the closeness between them begins to return. And just as the two of them move closer to each other, the lights in the house begin to flicker in a strange and unsettling way. And we see that the demon who had been visiting Echa in her dreams is now present right there between them. That night, when Echa falls asleep, she finds herself once again inside that eerie building where that same handsome man, the demon, approaches her. He places flowers on her body and says, "You can never leave this place now." Echa is absolutely terrified and runs. But this time the door will not open. The demon moves closer and closer until Echa jolts awake from her sleep. But the most shocking part is that the very flower the demon placed on her body in the dream is now lying right beside her bed in the real world. Seeing this, Echa is completely overwhelmed with fear. The next morning, Echa comes downstairs to find that Ariel has cooked breakfast for her. This genuinely warms her heart. They sit down together and talk openly, reminiscing about their earlier days. In that moment, Ariel apologizes to her and promises that he will work to fix everything and that the two of them will start fresh together. Echa understands and promises the same. That day, Echa would be coming home a little later than usual because after work, she had to visit her younger sister Emma. Ariel personally drops Echa off at work that morning, which makes Linda very happy to see. The two of them get busy with their work. But just then, Echa spots a flower on a box nearby, the exact same flower she had seen in her dream. The sight of it sends a wave of anxiety through her, and she reaches out to pick it up. But before she can, someone else picks it up first. and that someone is none other than the very man who had been appearing in Echa's dreams. Slowly, he begins to walk toward her. When Echa catches his reflection in a nearby mirror, her entire world tilts beneath her feet. Because the reflection in the mirror is not that of a man at all. It is the image of a horrifying demon. Overcome with panic, Echa feels a wave of nausea rushing over her, and she sprints toward the bathroom. Once inside, she begins vomiting, and right behind her we see the demon standing just inches away. Hearing Echa's sounds, Linda rushes to the bathroom and asks her what is wrong. But Echa says nothing and slips away quietly. After Echa leaves, Linda turns to look at the sink, and her face goes pale with shock. Mixed in with the vomit was blood and insects. That same night, Echa meets her sister Emma at a cafe. During their conversation, Emma reveals that she has broken up with her boyfriend Dusta because he had become so consumed by his work that he had no time left for Emma, which led to constant fights between them. Echa responds by giving Emma the same advice that Linda once gave her. She tells Emma that Dusta stood by her for 2 years, and now it is her turn to stand by him. In truth, both sisters were feeling a deep loneliness in their own relationships. During their conversation, Emma mentions that she had recently visited their parents, and that their parents had told her they were longing to hold a grandchild. But the moment Emma said this, a shadow of sadness crossed Echa's face because she herself had been trying to become a mother for quite some time now, without any results. Meanwhile, Echa messages Ariel about her medication. Ariel is at his workplace when he suddenly catches a glimpse of what looks like Echa nearby. He dismisses it as his imagination and moves on. But then in the darkness, he notices a shadow. He follows it, but by the time he reaches the spot, the figure has disappeared. Then from somewhere inside the building, he hears a scream that sounds exactly like Echa's voice. Following the sound, Ariel reaches a deserted corner of the building, where he finds Echa standing in a completely bizarre state, writhing as if she were in labor. Right there, she gives birth to a child. But this is no ordinary child. It is a demon. Ariel freezes in absolute terror, and Echa just stares at him with a strange, unsettling smile. The infant begins to crawl toward Ariel. Just before it reaches him, Ariel's senior colleague arrives on the scene. The moment he appears, everything suddenly returns to normal, as if nothing had happened at all. Shaken to his core by what he witnessed, Ariel comes home that night and cannot bring himself to speak to Echa properly. He gives her medication and tells her that he has asked Masri to come over the next day to give her a body massage. Then he goes to sleep without another word. The following morning, while Masri is giving Echa a massage, she advises Echa to get plenty of rest. Then while massaging her stomach, Masri says something that stops everyone in their tracks. She tells Echa that she is 3 months pregnant. Echa's eyes light up with joy, but Ariel's face goes completely still, because Echa and Ariel had only been intimate with each other 2 days ago. Before that, there had been nothing between them for nearly 6 months. So how could Echa possibly be 3 months pregnant? Ariel does not voice this out loud. He simply drops Echa at the office and returns home. At the office, when Echa shares the news of her pregnancy with everyone, the whole office celebrates and congratulates her. But Linda grows quiet and thoughtful. She keeps thinking back to Echa's vomiting and those insects. Something about all of this is deeply unsettling to her from the inside. When Linda tries to talk to Echa about it, Echa misreads the situation and assumes that Linda is not happy about her pregnancy. Lost in that misunderstanding, Echa creates distance between them, and their conversation remains incomplete and unresolved. Linda's unease is only growing. The blood and insects in that vomit were anything but normal in her eyes. She was increasingly convinced that some unseen force was involved in all of this. That night, Ariel talks to his senior and tells him about his suspicions regarding Echa. He was beginning to wonder whether Echa had been unfaithful to him. His senior advises him to spend the entire next day with Echa and really try to understand what is going on. He offered to cover Ariel's work himself. Ariel agrees. But on his way to his car in the parking lot, he hears the sound of a baby crying from inside a parked car. Out of curiosity, he peers through the window and comes face to face with a terrifying demonic child. Completely panicked, Ariel runs without thinking. Back at the camera, we see the demon who ensnared Echa standing there smiling as he watches over that demonic child. This scene makes one thing crystal clear. The child growing inside Echa is not a normal child at all. A frightened Ariel reaches home and, driven by his suspicions, checks Echa's phone. There he finds a name, Denny, an old classmate of Echa's who she had been in recent contact with. When Ariel discovers that Denny is also going through troubled times with his own wife, his suspicion deepens even further. He starts to believe that the baby Echa is carrying might be Denny's. When he confronts Echa about it, she explodes with anger. She tells Ariel that they will go to the doctor the very next day and get a DNA test done so the truth can come to light. But deep down, Echa is just as confused and troubled as Ariel. because she herself cannot wrap her head around how she could be 3 months pregnant when nothing had happened between them for 6 months. The next day at the doctor's office after the ultrasound and full checkup, the results are absolutely shocking. There's no baby inside Echa. The doctor explains that this is a medical condition known as false pregnancy or pseudocyesis. In this condition, a woman's body behaves as if it is pregnant. Her menstrual cycle stops. Her stomach begins to swell, but there is actually nothing inside her womb. This condition typically occurs when a woman's desire to become a mother is extremely powerful and all-consuming. Hearing this truth, Echa is utterly devastated and Ariel is left completely stunned. In her confusion and distress, Echa reaches out to Linda, and Linda makes the decision to take her to Master Yanni, because by now Linda is fully convinced that this is not a mental illness at all. There is a dark force behind all of this. The two of them arrive at Master Yanni's home. The moment Master Yanni lays eyes on Echa, he can also see the demon standing right behind her. Master Yanni immediately understands that Echa's life is in serious danger. But despite knowing this, he stays calm and composed, treating Echa with complete normalcy and listening carefully to everything she has to say. During their conversation, Master Yanni gently begins to guide Echa toward the truth. He explains that there are entities in this world that enter people's dreams specifically to create division between couples. They form intimate relationships with women in the dream world and manipulate them deeply. The result is a constant stream of misunderstandings and arguments between husband and wife. Echa, however, is still not fully ready to accept that there is no baby inside her. She gets angry listening to all of this and goes back home. Linda also stays at Echa's house to look after her and tries to help her process everything. But Echa is too overwhelmed. Linda tells her to stay calm and get some rest before she heads back to her own home. But on her way home, not far from Echa's house, Linda notices a small kitten sitting by the side of the road. Out of compassion, she picks it up and moves it safely to the sidewalk. But just as she turns back toward her scooter, she gets the feeling that the kitten is following her. When she turns around, there is nothing there. A little unsettled, she goes back to the spot where she had placed the kitten. That is when she notices a shadow. Linda moves toward it, but what is standing there is not a person. It is the demon. Before Linda can do anything, the demon attacks her and takes her life. On the other side, Echa wakes up screaming from a horrifying nightmare. She had witnessed every detail of Linda's death in her dream. She runs frantically to that very spot to find a large crowd already gathered. Linda's body is lying on the ground covered in blood. The sight of it absolutely destroys Echa. She breaks down, sobbing uncontrollably. Ariel, who sees Echa in this state, comes running toward her and tries to hold her together. But when his eyes fall on Echa's stomach, he is stunned. Her belly has grown to the size of someone who is 7 to 8 months pregnant. Now Echa slowly starts to understand what Master Yanni was trying to tell her. She begins opening up to Ariel and telling him everything about her dreams. This time Ariel truly listens and understands her. He makes the decision to stand by her side no matter what. Echa is blaming herself entirely for Linda's death. She believes that Linda was killed because she had taken her to Master Yanni in an effort to help her. Echa is now determined to break free from this dark force at any cost. She goes back to Master Yanni along with Ariel and her younger sister Emma. This time Master Yanni begins a deep and intense spiritual session. He starts the exorcism process to drive the demon out of Echa's body. As the chanting begins, Echa's body starts shaking violently. Her face begins to change. The demon speaks through Echa's body, claiming that Echa is his wife and that no one has the right to touch her. But Master Yanni is not afraid and continues the chanting without stopping. During the chanting, Echa also begins experiencing sharp, intense pain in her stomach, as if the demonic child growing inside her is reacting to the process. Finally, as the chanting reaches its conclusion, Echa's body goes still and she returns to her normal self. Master Yanni explains that she had encountered a powerful demon named Dasim. Dasim is a demon specifically known for creating rifts between couples. He enters their dreams and forms relationships with women, leaving them deeply confused and disoriented. He had ensnared Echa in exactly this way and made her believe she was pregnant. Master Yanni advises Echa to stay calm on a regular basis and keep herself away from negative thoughts. He writes out a Quranic verse on a piece of paper and gives it to her, telling her to recite it every single day so that the demon cannot come near her again. Back home, Echa and Ariel sit down together and have an honest conversation. They both acknowledge that they were each responsible for the distance that had grown between them. They apologize to one another and decide to begin again. Over the following weeks, everything stays peaceful. Echa's mind is calmer and more settled than it has been in a long time. No more terrifying dreams. No more strange sensations. Ariel is taking wonderful care of her. One evening, when the two of them go out for dinner, Ariel tells her that his company wants to transfer him to another branch in a different city. His promotion is confirmed, but the work will require him to relocate. At first, Ariel is hesitant to even bring this up because he had been so worried about Echa's condition. But Echa reassures him that she is fine now and encourages him to focus on his career. The next day, Ariel leaves for the other city. With him gone, the house immediately feels emptier and quieter to Echa. She calls Emma, hoping she can come over and keep her company for a while. But Emma cannot make it because of her work shift. To shake off the loneliness, Echa picks up the Quranic verse that Master Yanni gave her and begins reciting it. She turns on the TV and lies down on the sofa. She feels a slight heaviness, but does not think much of it. The next morning, she heads to the office. But the atmosphere there feels deeply strange. People are staring at her and whispering odd things to each other, as if they are all under some kind of spell. Echa panics and leaves work, running home as fast as she can. That night, Emma comes to stay with her. Echa is terrified and feels like she has been pulled back into the demon's grip. But Emma calms her down and says that as soon as Ariel comes home, they will go back to Master Yanni together. Just then, Ariel calls. He is already on his way and will be home within a few hours. Over the phone, he tells Emma that no matter what, she must not let Echa fall asleep tonight. The last time something like this happened, Linda lost her life. If Echa falls asleep tonight, Emma herself could be in serious danger. Emma understands completely and stays up talking with Echa through the night. During their conversation, Emma shares that she has given Dusta another chance because she is starting to realize that someone like him may never come along again. But in the middle of all this, Echa unknowingly drifts off to sleep. The moment Emma tries to wake her, an invisible and enormously powerful force hurls Emma off the bed and onto the floor. It then drags her across the ground and out of the room. The demon is back in the room now. He lies down beside Echa again and stares at her. In the final hours of the night, when Echa's eyes flutter open, she is hit by that same familiar feeling. Her body feels heavy and her stomach is visibly more swollen than before, as if she has become pregnant again. When Echa feels this, she completely falls apart. In a state of rage and panic, she begins hitting her own stomach, trying to stop what is happening. This causes her to bleed badly. She staggers out of the room and finds Emma lying unconscious nearby. In that moment, she cannot stop to focus on Emma's condition. Her entire focus is on ending the pregnancy that is growing inside her. She goes to the kitchen, picks up a wire hanger, and bends it into a sharp-pointed instrument. She then attempts to use it on herself to end the demonic pregnancy, but every single attempt fails completely. At that very moment, Ariel arrives home. Seeing Echa in this horrifying state, he is stunned. He immediately tries to wake Emma, and the three of them go straight to Master Yanni without a moment's delay. Master Yanni immediately lays Echa down on a bed and ties her hands and feet to prevent her from harming herself any further. Then, together with his associates, he begins the exorcism. During this process, Echa is fully and completely possessed. Her soul is now trapped inside that dreamlike world. Over and over again, she tries to escape the demon, but the demon chases her and attacks her hand. The battle that her soul is fighting in that other world is showing its effects in the real world too. Real wounds are appearing on Echa's body as each moment passes. Echa is screaming like a woman utterly possessed. Her face has changed. Her voice is unrecognizable. But Master Yanni and his team keep chanting without stopping. Then suddenly the bed that Echa is lying on begins to rise into the air. The demon is shrieking in an attempt to terrify everyone he crosses over into the human world. But Master Yanni and his team do not flinch. In the midst of all of this, Ariel steps forward. He sits beside Echa and gently whispers in her ear, "Echa, I need you. Please come back. We will start our life together again." Echa can hear his voice. Tears begin to stream down her face. She steadies herself and begins to remember all the moments she shared with Ariel. Every single memory of their life together. Then slowly and quietly, she begins to recite the Quranic verse that Master Yanni gave her. As Echa recites the verse, the demon begins to weaken. The world that the demon had built begins to crumble and fall apart around her. Echa fights her way through it and breaks free from that prison. Her soul returns to her body. In the real world, everything suddenly goes completely still and quiet. Echa opens her eyes, and everything is back to normal. The story then jumps forward 6 years. Echa and Ariel are now living a happy and peaceful life. They have 2 beautiful children and have moved into a new home in a quiet place just outside the city. One day, while they're all sitting together in the front yard, Echa asks Emma about Arka, her older son, who has wandered over near the main gate while playing. At the gate, Arka comes face to face with that same handsome man who used to appear in Echa's dreams. Emma runs over, grabs Arka, and brings him safely inside. And this is where we are left with that chilling question. Arka was standing at that gate, and the demon was smiling. Do you think Arka is Ariel's son or the demon's child? Drop your answer in the comments below. And with that mysterious and haunting ending, the story comes to the end. Let us know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, please like it, share it, and subscribe to the channel. Hit that bell icon so you never miss any of our upcoming videos. See you in the next one. Till then, bye-bye, take care.